Last April, the largest crowd in recent years at Sanair Superspeedway saw London, Ontario's Russ Erlin begin his GM National Stock Car Series title defense in dramatic fashion.
Car lengths now into turn number 3. The white flag is coming out. McDonald may have this thing won. Erlin gets a great bite into the corner, really pulls up on McDonald. Final time, McDonald's in trouble. Erlin comes up and goes around, and McDonald has shut down on the final lap.
Unbelievable, he backed right off there. It could be engine, a tire, we have no idea, but the man from London is by. And so, it's Dave Dion.
Everybody is going by Rollie McDonald as he goes home, checkers are out, and Russ Erlin, can you believe it, comes home with the win.
That's 2 in a row, and I'm going to be leading both series. That's my dream. If I could just hold on to this lead for the rest of the year, I'll be the happiest guy in the world.
But as the series unfolds, Erlin's defense is being challenged. Veteran Jean-Paul Cabana's consistency is proving effective. Massachusetts native Steve Knowlton is pressing for the series lead. And Kevin LePage from Shelburne, Vermont is proving to be a top contender. A new season, producing new records, new challengers, and possibly a new champion in the 1990 GM National Stock Car Series.
The GM Motorsport Hour, brought to you by General Motors of Canada Limited and by Quality GM Parts, Priority Courier, and Sony of Canada.
With threatening skies and it seems our usual wet weather here in central southeastern Canada and the northeastern United States, we have got 36 drivers and teams who've qualified for this, the third of 10 events in the GM National Stock Car Series. Sherrington, Quebec's Jean-Paul Cabana holds the series lead to date, but only 6 points separating the top 4, with defending champion Russ Erlin dropping to 4th position despite his season-opening victory here. This weekend's race is going to prove to be a test of endurance as the teams will be competing in 3 races over 4 days, with this being the 2nd in a row. Yesterday's ACT run in northern New York did not produce any casualties, but left most teams very little time to prepare for this larger Sanair track. Well, the scene is set for the Canada Day 100 here at Sanair Speedway in Saint-Pie, Quebec. I'm Jim Paulson. We welcome you to the 3rd round of the General Motors National Stock Car Racing Championship. It's been a hard-fought series so far this year. Can Russ Erlin win one more time on this super speedway? Well, he's not qualified that well, and my co-host of the show, Dave Moody, may have some other thoughts on what could happen here today. Dave?
Well, Russ Erlin was the man to beat in event number 1, but he is joined by a number of other drivers as possible victory lane candidates today. Rollie McDonald, who lost out on the last lap of round number 1, has run very well in qualifying. Harmon Beaver Dragon has won more races here than anyone else. He qualified strongly. And Robbie Crouch, the 5-time ACT champion, won his first race of the year last night. He's on a roll coming in today.
And you know, this ACT championship is being hard fought for in 1990 as well. With more on that in pit row, here's Michael Charbon.
Jean-Paul Cabana in first place in the GM Motorsport National Stock Car Series. Today in practice, blew his transmission and a clutch. Behind us, his crew is working feverishly to put it back together again so Jean-Paul can make the grid. Jean-Paul, 37-year veteran of stock car racing with 496 wins to his credit, has yet to win at Sanair. Sanair is that kind of a situation. It's tough, it's fast. How are we going to do today?
You know, that's a Sanair on the Speedway never win, but I win at the short track for so many times. But this track, that's hard for me. I don't know the reason. You know, a couple of times on the last race we make here, you know, just before the end of the race, for 5 laps before the end, I broke something. But I think today everything is perfect. That's a new car, and my mechanic man made a good preparation. I think that's about the time we win.
Weather is always a factor here at Sanair. We had some rain last night. The track is wet, but with a little bit more qualifying and some of the support races, everything should work out for today's event.
Michael, earlier this morning at the Sanair track, things did not look good for this race day. It rained buckets, but we got the stock cars out on the course nonetheless. Following back of the pace car, they made a few circuits here, got the surface dried out ideally, and now we are ready to race at Sanair.
Let's take a look at this afternoon's starting grid on the front row. Well, it's McDonald land. Rolly McDonald, the Nova Scotia champion, Pictou, Nova Scotia, in the Maritime Tires Chevrolet Lumina. And outside, Randy McDonald from Oshawa, Ontario, former Rookie of the Year in the AC Delco Buick Regal. In row number 2, surprising Carlton Roby from Candia, New Hampshire, one of the circuit's underfinanced independent teams. And on the outside, the winningest driver ever here at Sanair, Harmon Beaver Dragon in the Mackenzie Meets Pontiac. Row number 3, Bill Zardo Jr. from Brampton, Ontario, the younger half of a father-son racing team in competition. And on the outside, Jean-Paul Cabana from Sherrington, Quebec, the current GM Motorsports leader. Row number 4 on the inside, 19-year-old rookie Robbie Thompson from Owen Sound, Ontario in the John Thompson Buick Regal. And on the outside, the 5-time circuit champion from Georgia, Vermont, Robbie Crouch in the Rent-A-Wreck Buick Regal. Row number 5, part-time on the Coors Tour, but running strong this afternoon, Steve Poulin from Stowe, Vermont in car number 63. And on the outside, from Norwood, Ontario, young Derek Lynch in the Value Vision Chevrolet Lumina. Row number 6, Ralph Nason and Buzzy Bazanson. In row number 7, Ontario's Alan Long and Claude Leclerc. In row number 8, Yvon Bedard and Bill Zardo Sr., Russ Erlin and Larry Hebert side by side in row number 9. In row 10, Steve Monroe in the 08, the 82 Sylvain Metivier, Roger Leperle and Jim Gallison in row number 11. Row number 12, Paul Mathers and Ron Solly. Row number 13, Dave Eisen and Michel Grollo from the province of Quebec. Row 14, Marshall Hurley and rookie Ron Benjamin, Kevin LePage and Bobby Ailes in row number 15. The 16th row, Dan Beatty from Barrie, Vermont, and Ontario's Dennis Robertson, Steve Knowlton and Tom Kenyon in row number 17. And in the final row, row number 18, Dave Lebrec and Quebec's Jocelyn Tremblay in car number 99.
Well, the pace car leaves the field. They appear to be in perfect order, on track now. We should be ready for a start here, Dave, as they come up for the green.
Down to the line, the green is out, and they are drag racing into turn number 1. Rolly McDonald on the inside, Randy McDonald on the outside, and that low groove, as usual, in that sharp left-hand turn number 1, has the advantage as Rolly McDonald pulls away.
Number 75, though, Beaver Dragon is doing everything he can to hang on to these two very early, right off the top of this run. But what a nice launch for Rolly McDonald, who dominated an awful lot of our first run this year at Sanair Day.
Well, McDonald has something to prove here this afternoon. He came ever so close last time out, came up a little bit short in the gas tank. You can bet that that Maritime Tire Chevrolet has been topped off to the maximum before the green flag today.
So there's Rolly McDonald, number 13. Who's Randy McDonald? We didn't talk about him much in the first run this year, Dave.
Well, Randy McDonald wasn't around for very long the first time out here at Sanair, but he is always a threat here on the Tri-Oval. As a matter of fact, he's a threat right now. McDonald down to the inside as Rolly McDonald bobbles, and we've got caution on the Speedway. That's the Michel Grollo automobile down on the inside of the corner. May have tagged the inside retaining wall, and here on the third circuit we go under yellow.
Okay, an incident right off the top. We get a replay here very quickly. We might spot what happened. No, it looked like maybe a spin there, Dave, and then he just comes up against the inside wall.
Well, that hard left-hand corner, if you get in a little too hot, the back end comes out from underneath. And Michel Grollo finds out very quickly that Sanair is not a pleasant place to get out of shape.
Under the yellow, and I think that yellow saved Rolly McDonald's lead here with Randy right on his tail in third. Beaver Dragon, Jean-Paul Cabana wants a win. He's back in fourth. We'll be back on green after this. We're back at Sanair after the first yellow, and it was caused by this man, Dave.
Michel Grollo on pit road. Very minor damage, and he will return.
We're here in the pits with David McDonald. David, Rolly's been doing really well. He had the pole at the beginning. He's holding it.
Yeah, it seems all right. The car has just a slight push, but it's working all right.
How are your tires holding out?
Tires seem to be all right so far.
And when do you expect to come in for gas?
We're going to run at least halfway, and after that, 50, 60 laps maybe.
And here is Rolly McDonald leading the field back. Dave Lebrec, one of the back markers beside him, and they'll get another green here, David.
Up around the lapped car of Dave Lebrec, heading down the front chute into turn 1, and everybody holding single file. Rolly McDonald in car number 13, the 01 of Randy McDonald. You know, last time out here, Jim, fuel was a factor. It decided the race. This time out, I don't think it's going to be, because these cars circulated for 20, maybe 25 laps under caution before this race even began. eating up gasoline, and there's really no chance anyone could go the distance here this afternoon.
Keep an eye on this war for third as well. Beaver Dragon just ahead of John Paul Cabana. John Paul wants a victory here before he signs off his career, I'm sure.
And you know when Beaver Dragon and John Paul Cabana run that close to the front, run that hard early, they're going to be very strong because they are two of the cagiest veterans in the business. They usually hang back until showtime, till the final laps to make themselves felt, but you can see Dragon really closing in on Randy McDonald.
Look out, Randy, you've got a dragon on your tail. It looks like he's already setting him up with thoughts of a pass, maybe within a corner or two.
Well, Rolly McDonald may be forcing his hand. McDonald has opened up about 5 car lengths. And the thing about this Sanair tri-oval is so big and so fast, if any one of the leaders decides to go out there and try and break away, he forces everyone else to react. Beaver Dragon, as always, historically dragging the fastest car through the tri-oval. As he comes out of that easy left-hander, he just flat-foots it through. Very few drivers can force themselves to do that, and that's Dragon's big advantage on this track.
John Paul Cabana, by the way, running in fourth, has really dropped off the tempo of these three, and he has got a tornado right on his tail at this stage. But this really is where it's happening right now, and I was surprised we get into this heavy a sprint this early off the top, Dave.
Well, 100 laps is a long way on this track, but comparatively it's not that far because the Coors Tour drivers in the GM Series run 150, 200, 300 laps. Boy, look at this stack up as they head for turn 1. Randy McDonald has the whole shot on the inside. Rolly McDonald trapped up high. That's no man's land. McDonald is underneath, and right behind, here comes Beaver Dragon.
You know, the man from Vermont has now got second place, and I would say this is a rather dramatic drop-off for Rolly McDonald. I hate to intimate there may be a problem early, but once the two got by, no, here he is. He's coming on a little bit again, Dave.
Well, that's just the story of this racetrack. Those corners are so fast, so flat, and so sharp. If you get in a little bit high, the whole pack goes underneath. Rolly McDonald there was fortunate that second group wasn't a little closer because they might have gotten by too.
Got a replay on this. Here's the move that Randy really had tried earlier just prior to our first yellow. It didn't quite work for him at that time. In fact, he has a little hesitation directly in the corner. Once he gets out of it, though, he does scoot right by Rolly McDonald. So 0-1, Randy in front.
Coming up and putting some laps on cars, and we've got another challenge for the lead. Beaver Dragon is going to work, and Dragon, boy, he blew Randy McDonald away. Did not even need that inside line in the corner. Passed him on the front straightaway, and Harmon Beaver Dragon, the third leader in the last 2 laps.
So, the big 75, there he is now leading this race. 3 lead changes and very early here.
Well, let's take a look. Beaver Dragon really got this one done early. Did not even need the low groove, just powered underneath. And that's a pure horsepower move by the Mackenzie Pontiac. Beaver Dragon, and again, leads Rolly McDonald right down to that inside line for second place.
Boy, that was an almost for Rolly, too. He just about managed to hang on to a bit of a draft there and get by Randy McDonald, but Randy closed the door on him.
A lot of tight racing and a lot of chances being taken here in the early stages of this race, and I think a lot of that has to do with the weather. This is a 100-lap event, but anytime after lap 51, if the rain comes down, this can be called and named an official race, and whoever's out in front gets the checkered flag. So these drivers want to stay near the front or at the front, and that's what Beaver Dragon's doing right now.
For those who wonder in the world of stock car racing, you'll see them get right nose to tailpipe. They'll war for a lap or two. Now you see them sort of spread out. Is it nap time, Dave, or what?
Well, I'm not sure. I think Beaver Dragon, quite simply, has got the fastest race car on the track right now. He followed for a while and apparently didn't like the pace, so he'll jump out in front, pull away from everybody. Randy McDonald, Rolly McDonald, and a car on the inside wall. The 0 of Paul Mathers has done a 180-degree spin, and it looks like he's slapped that inside guardrail, and we're under caution for the second time.
Paul's out of London, Ontario. He's still got it moving here, Dave, so he'll try to get it corrected once the field gets by. We don't note that much body damage from this side. Here, he'll bring it around now. No, he looks pretty good, unless it's a major interior mechanical concern. He should be back.
Well, Mathers, a young charger out of the province of Ontario, running only his second race on the American-Canadian Tour this afternoon, trying to fight his way to the inside of Yvon Bedard, and yeah, that'll happen at Sanair. 2 drivers fighting over the same piece of asphalt. Mathers spinning to the inside, Bedard spinning to the outside, and look at Bobby Ailes in car number 25. Did he get a look at the side of the Yvon Bedard car?
You almost got the feeling there on the right-hand side of your screen that Ailes might have been caught up in that, but he got through safely, and in along pit road comes Paul Mathers.
The Motion Thunderbird on pit road, a couple of other drivers as well. You saw the 46, Bill Zardo Sr. Many drivers deciding that now's the time to go in for gas. Everybody's going to have to do it before we go the distance.
On our second yellow, the Dragon dominates. John Paul Cabana still sitting in fourth. Look out for Robbie Crouch, though. He's in fifth. Will he get him when we come back? I'm Jim Paulson, back with Dave Moody under our second yellow at Sanair. Looks like a Zardo family reunion down here. Any advantage in these pit stops at this second yellow, Dave?
Well, there's advantages and disadvantages to pitting at this juncture of the race. Still a long way to go. The advantage, you get your tires, you get your gasoline, you're set for the stretch run, and you know that you've got plenty of time to work your way through. The disadvantage is that there are more cars out there that you've got to fight your way back through to get to the front.
In the Thompson pit, here's Michael.
We're with John Thompson and Robbie Thompson's pit. Why did Robbie come in, John?
The bolt broke in the rear end and the grease was coming out all over the track, so we had to bring him in and fill it up.
So when do you think you'll have to come in for tires or gas?
We're going to try and go all the way if we can now. We're full of fuel.
Robbie's running really well today. I think you should be happy with his performance.
This is one of our best starts this season. It's good so far.
Robbie Thompson back in the game again with a new bolt.
On lap 22, here comes Dragon leading the field back. He's got Michel Grulot beside him. May not be happy about that, but they should be anticipating a green here within a moment. Grulot gets in a little tight. Look for the green about now, Dave.
Lead lap cars start on the outside lane, the lapped automobiles down low, and as you might expect, no contest as the green comes out. Beaver Dragon and Randy McDonald lead them away into turn number 1. Running in the number 3 spot, Rolly McDonald, followed by Cabana and Crouch.
Maybe we should point out here, I've been trying to follow this too, but under the yellows, we're not counting the laps, and again, how that's going to affect this fuel situation we're speculating on.
Well, the caution flag laps do not count toward the 100 lap total. A driver can lose a lap in the pits under caution, but those laps, while they don't count on the scoreboard, they do count in the gas tank. As we mentioned again, and it probably bears repeating, they ran a number of laps, well over 20 laps, drying this track before the race started, and with every passing caution, whatever faint hope, if there was any, of going the distance on gas disappears a little further.
You know, my little speculation on Robbie Crouch earlier is still alive as he's remaining on the tailpipe of Jean-Paul Cabana. But of course, this is the man who leads at this point, and he's getting points every time he can hang on to one of those laps, Dave.
Well, Beaver Dragon leading apparently with ease here as he's got 6 car lengths in hand over Randy McDonald, and they have really run away from that second pack. Rolly McDonald, Cabana, and Crouch. But your point about Robbie Crouch is well taken. He did not win 5 championships on this circuit by winning the second and third lap.
I would guess that's Carlton Roby, crawling along here. We can't speculate on what the problem might be, but he'll hope to get back to pit row, or it could be another yellow.
Well, Roby running very slowly on the tri-oval, possibly an engine or a rear end failure, and we've got a challenge for position. The number 3 spot being contested now. John Paul Cabana going down to the inside of Rolly McDonald, and Cabana gets the break.
Cabana wants this one at Sanair if he can possibly pull it off. I would guess half the grandstand are cheering him on at this point as well, Dave.
Well, more than half. When you come to Sanair, Jean-Paul Cabana is the man to beat in the hearts of the fans in the grandstand. And we've got a great tussle going on back in that pack because as Cabana got underneath, Robbie Crouch tried it as well. Rolly McDonald shut him off, though. Beaver Dragon, Randy McDonald, and then look at the gap back to Cabana, working with Russ Erlin, who has come up through the field.
Whoops, where did he come from? we off the top of the show, dealt with Russ Erlin, and of course his marvelous victory here last time. Mind you, it was sort of luck-inspired. Wow, suddenly he's becoming a factor.
Well, Russ Erlin just pulled underneath Cabana, and he moves up to the number 3 position. So Russ Erlin may have started back in the pack, but he hasn't stayed there for very long.
The fact is, we talked about the rather busy weekend all of these stock car competitors have had, and if anyone got a beating so far in that weekend, it's got to be Russ Erlin.
Well, you can see that the front of the car does not necessarily match the back of the car in terms of cosmetics, but it hasn't slowed him down any. Russ Erlin, Cabana, Rolly McDonald, and Robbie Crouch. Those are the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place automobiles. Robbie Crouch taking a look on the inside of Rolly McDonald. I can't believe that Rolly McDonald is very happy with his race car right now because he gets into the corner, the car drifts up high and lets everybody take the low road underneath.
Man to watch here might be Robbie Crouch. He poked the nose in there on the inside. We do get back to our current leader, though, Beaver Dragon, and again, one of the back markers on the back straight that he has no problem with. And there's Randy McDonald, still second.
Randy McDonald going down on the inside of the corner, and we've got trouble on the racetrack. Paul Mathers has spun it again. Mathers in car number 0 spinning in almost exactly the same place, but this time he's made contact with that inside concrete wall.
He would appear to have an extreme dislike for this particular section of the track. Maybe we'll get a replay here.
Well, if he didn't have it before, he's got it now, and you can see he just plain lost it. Got into the corner too hot. The back end of the car came around. He tries to save it, but it slides 180 degrees and makes a substantial impact with that inside concrete.
So this time Paul on his own, and maybe a little more damage on the right-hand side as a result of hitting that pit wall.
Well, he's definitely banged up the fiberglass. He is back on pit road, and they're changing right side tires as well, so it looks like Mathers has survived this latest incident. He'll go back out a little bit rearranged, but none the worse for wear.
Here's Rollie McDonald in along pit row, and they're working on the tires. We thought it might just be fuel, but there's more than that wrong with Rollie's car.
Well, 33 laps down, and this is a good time for some of those front runners to get on pit road, get right side tires, and top it off with gas.
We're in Randy McDonald's pit with his dad, Doc. Randy's been running really good today, Doc.
Yeah, that AC Delco Buick is really running strong. Got a little push in it though, but he's just going to lay back and take it easy for a few laps.
He's been hanging a really tight second all this time. That means the car must be performing well.
Yeah, it's really running strong. We're just going to take it easy for a few laps and hope to be there at the end.
When do you anticipate coming in for gas and tires?
We're likely going to try and go the whole way.
Randy McDonald out there going the whole way with his dad, Doc, at the helm.
Well, the number 2 man is a gambler. McDonald is going to try and go the distance. Russ Erlin, the number 3 racer, is on pit road for fuel. McDonald is really going to have to stretch it. Mathematically, it doesn't seem possible that he can go the rest of the way without a stop.
Delay continues in the race action at Sanair. Here's Russ Erlin, the reigning and defending champion, just finishing his work along pit row. While we have the pause, we had the pit stop action earlier today.
Round number 2 of the GM Parts National Pit Stop Competitions. The standings after one event, Robbie Crouch, Russ Erlin, and Ralph Nason. Their teams hold the top 3 spots. Vermont's Dan Beatty and Quebec Jean-Paul Cabana, 4th and 5th. Here's the first team. The Ralph Nason team out of Unity, Maine. They usually work on the Jim Salad Company Chevrolet Lumina. This afternoon, it'll be the GM Motorsports National Series show car. 2 right side tires, a tank of gas, and a clean windshield in the shortest time possible. The car will break an electric eye at the entrance to the pits and at the exit. Pit stop in the 20 to 23 second range will be a good one, and this is an excellent one. 21.7 seconds for the Ralph Nason team out of Unity, Maine. And Nason's team has to be very happy with that stop. They'll be right in contention. Second crew, the 01 crew of Randy McDonald, the AC Delco Buick Regal out of Oshawa, Ontario. The car comes across the electric eye and they'll go to work. The jack going up, right side tires, the order of the day for the Randy McDonald team. This team had a little bit of a slow start in round number 1, but they've been practicing back home in Oshawa, and they say they're ready for a good one here this afternoon. And they've got a good one going. The car is down, it's away, and we've got a new leader. 20.7 seconds for the AC Delco team from Oshawa, Ontario. Randy McDonald takes the lead and knocks Ralph Nason down to the number 2 spot. I'll do next up, here's the defending champions of this GM National Pit Stop Series, the Robbie Crouch Rent-A-Wreck team from Georgia, Vermont. Carl Osha, the crew chief, on the right front tire, Mark Kramlich on the jacks as they go to work. Brian Latouche on the left rear tire. Watch this team work. Lug nuts are going back on, and they are just about finished. Car is down, a little slow off the line, but a 20.321 is nonetheless the fast time of the afternoon. And the Robbie Crouch team once again pulls the rabbit out of the hat. 20.321 seconds, an outstanding pit stop. And the Robbie Crouch team 2 for 2 in the GM Parts National Pit Stop Competition. So the standings after 2 events, Crouch on top, Ralph Nason second. Russ Erlin holds on to third. The Randy McDonald team moves to 4th. Dan Beatty is 5th.
Robbie Crouch looking good in that pit stop competition earlier. Back to the real action. Our leader, Beaver Dragon, number 75, is in along pit road to grab his fuel. He'll get back out to join the field as we get set for a restart.
And at the front of the pack, the 2 gamblers, the 01 Randy McDonald, 5A Jean-Paul Cabana. McDonald's crew chief has already told us they plan to go the distance. It's going to be very difficult, if not impossible. The sheer mathematics of the deal say that he can't make it. Many times in the last couple of years, including last time out here at Sanair, we've seen these cars run out of gas after a maximum of 138 laps. And with the number of cautions we've had here this afternoon, that total is going to be well above 138 before the checkers fly.
You know, for just a moment there, we were watching Dan Beatty being a bit of a factor in Jean-Paul Cabana getting away. He was trying to hang on to McDonald as best he could. Now he has dropped well off the pace, but as a result, so has Jean-Paul.
Well, Randy McDonald moved around, had a bit of trouble at first, but that's allowed him to open up a 3 or 4 car length lead over Jean-Paul Cabana. And the man in third, what a story, Kevin LePage, who started dead last on the field this afternoon. As a matter of fact, had it not been for that rain shower that fell just before the green flag, LePage would not even have been in competition here. They had trouble with the electrical system. They shut down under the pace lap prior to the green, went into the pits during the rain, made repairs, and what a run for the Citgo Ford. LePage is all the way to third place.
You know, if we thought that Erlin run was exciting earlier today, you're right. He was one of the stories, a run off the start of the event that we thought we would not even get around to mentioning today. But here he is, running third, right on the tail of Jean-Paul Cabana. Looks like he's sizing up. He'll have a go soon. Randy McDonald here, 0-1, well out in front.
Well, Cabana has got his mind on the rear view mirror as LePage is really working him over. If there was a bonus paid for most cars passed in the first half of a race, Kevin LePage would be the winner hands down, and he's not satisfied yet. He is really working on Cabana.
Interesting here that the rest of our field have spread out fairly well, David, and the war now really is for a second overall, and here's where Kevin may make his move. He pokes the nose in on the inside, and he's at least up to the doorway and by Jean-Paul Cabana.
Just a classic pass under braking in turn number 3. LePage was able to stay on the accelerator and off the brake a little bit longer than Jean-Paul Cabana, and there was the advantage. LePage goes to second, Cabana in the 5A, now back to third. A great run for Kevin LePage, but he's still got some real estate to make up before he can take a shot at Randy McDonald.
Well, for the youngsters that are viewing the action today, that was textbook. So Kevin taught you just a little lesson about how to pass finally on a high-speed course like this one.
Well, Kevin LePage, one of the new veterans, if you will, in this GM Motorsports competition. He's still just a young man, but he's been around for many, many years. Started driving in his father's car many years ago at Catamount Stadium in Milton, Vermont. Graduated up through the ranks, has driven for some high-dollar teams, but he's decidedly independent this season, and he's having a great run today.
Okay, students, gather around the TV set. Let's watch this one more time, Dave.
Kevin LePage, the professor in this one, as he just gets underneath Jean-Paul Cabana. Cabana knows that turn 3 is no place to start rubbing fenders. He gives way, and Kevin LePage moves underneath for second.
You know, LePage's car looks extremely beat up there as we viewed that pass. He has not had a good June at all.
No, indeed. Whoa, one car way high in turn number 1. That's the Dave Eisen machine. Eisen in car number 7 very nearly lost it.
You know, right in the middle of the screen here, we're looking at Knowlton. Keep in mind that he is, in fact, a lap down, and we have Kevin coming up on him. Should take him in a moment.
Let's take a look again at that Dave Eisen Expedition in turn number 1. Just got way high at the top of the corner. The rear end came around, but he gathered it up to avoid a trip into the concrete.
And back to those race leaders one more time. And, of course, it is Randy McDonald leading the field through down the front straight again.
And Kevin LePage, as he said, is beginning to bear in on the lapped automobile of Steve Knowlton. Knowlton, the top rookie on the circuit this year, but a lap down early here at Sanair, and he's going to lose ground to Kevin LePage as LePage puts the nose low down through the tri-oval, and right behind, here comes Russ Erlin.
Where has he come from? There he is, number 8, one more time. He'll have a go at Knowlton now. No, he's going to save it for maybe another corner or so, but you know Erlin is going to make that move soon.
Well, Russ Erlin has to be very careful how he attacks Steve Knowlton, because right behind Erlin is Jean-Paul Cabana. If Russ makes a bad move, picks the wrong lane, and has to back off, Mr. Cabana will be gone in a heartbeat, and so will third place for Russ Erlin. Now Russ gets down on the inside, and he'll get him. There's Cabana, and right behind him, here's Beaver Dragon. Dragon back to the inside, way below the white line, and turn number 3 to take away the spot.
Oh, Jean-Paul did not like that. I got the feeling he was edging in toward that one wheel well on Dragon, but he thought better of it, and in fact has let Beaver get by.
Well, Beaver Dragon's car number 75 is really running on a rail. He had those left side tires well below the white line at the bottom of turn 3. Ordinarily, a good handling car can get down near the line, but almost never underneath it.
Okay, fans, tempo's off a little bit at this stage for Jean-Paul Cabana, but we will not discount him as yet, although Dragon is making a real charge here, but so many others are doing the same thing.
Let's take a look once again at this fantastic move by Beaver Dragon. Once again, Cabana beaten just a little bit on braking, and look at the Beaver down below that white line. That is where very few dared to tread in turn number 3.
And again, you talk about textbook, I guess that's teacher number 2 today. Dragon made it look so fine. Now here's Russ Erlin right up on LePage, and of course right on them now is Beaver Dragon.
Well, the pace that they are setting is putting them back in contact with the leader. It's a 4-car draft, make it 5 as Cabana's on the tail end as well. Randy McDonald, Kevin LePage, Russ Erlin, Beaver Dragon, and Cabana. This is really shaping up to be a shootout down the stretch.
Okay, who's got the most experience out of this 4-5-some that we're watching? I'm wondering if they can't shake Randy up a little bit out in front.
Well, there's no question that the most experienced drivers are not the leaders right now. Beaver Dragon and Russ Erlin definitely, Jean-Paul Cabana definitely, despite his luck here at Sanair, but Randy McDonald and Kevin LePage are going to be difficult to get off of that front spot.
Okay, still watching Randy McDonald leading. The man who is coming out. Oh, here's an interesting situation here. What has happened with Beaver Dragon?
Well, Beaver's off the pace. Claude Leclerc moves around. Derek Lynch moves around. Dragon, who we just said a moment ago may have been the fastest car on the racetrack, now is one of the slowest. He's in trouble.
In the meantime, Kevin LePage has a go at Randy McDonald here. He tries to go to the outside. Randy will try to use traffic as a ploy.
Well, Steve Knowlton once again is the lap car as he runs well off the pace this afternoon, but LePage is really all over the back bumper of the AC Delco Buick. They go single file through the tri-oval. McDonald in the 0-1, the 21 of LePage. Erlin, oh, there it is. McDonald's out of gas. It had to happen. We talked about it, and it finally happened. Randy McDonald pressed his luck down to the wire. He's out of gas.
That is unbelievable. Randy McDonald did not play a good game of chess in this round at Sanair. He's in along pit row. There goes the fuel. Look at that. A matter of split seconds, and Randy is back into it, but he lost a lot.
Trouble. Derek Lynch has grenaded a motor. Oh, Buzzy Bazanson pounds the outside wall. Lynch in car number 15 grenaded a motor coming into turn number 1, the worst possible area of the racetrack, and we've got a multi-car pileup.
13, of course, Rolly McDonald, very prominent on our screen in that whole incident there as we watch Dragon scoot around the track, but that's it. Another yellow out, and field comes to not quite a standstill, but will there be, I don't know if there's room for pit stops at this stage of the race, Dave?
Well, just about everyone that's going to pit has pitted because we are very near the end of this race. Let's look at it again. You can see the smoke already coming out from under car number 15. Watch the top of your screen. Buzzy Bazanson in car number 2 really nails that outside concrete. Rolly McDonald right up to the wall. His foot is still buried in the accelerator, and he manages to stay off the wall. 15 Lynch, Dave Eisen in the 7, and look at this along the tail end. Robbie Thompson and Steve Knowlton.
Boy, Knowlton's tail went directly up in the air. He really caught him with the nose and lifted him right up.
Well, that'll ruin your whole day if you're Buzzy Bazanson, because a hard shot into the outside wall, and you can see the tail end on the DHS Home Chevrolet has been rearranged. That is a badly damaged race car.
This quick splash for Randy McDonald has cost him. We look at the leaderboard. Kevin LePage is now in front.
Well, the Randy McDonald team is celebrating right now. They have bought a break. They ran out of gas while leading, but that wreck allowed them to stay on the lead lap.
Doc, that was really quick. You came in, we had an accident at the same time. That was amazing.
That should get us our lap back. We should take off from the lead lap again, so we should be in good shape for the rest of the race.
Absolutely an amazing pit by the Randy McDonald team. Doc, you must be really proud of your boy.
Yeah, we've run a good race. I think we're right there at the end.
10 laps remain. The field in proper order coming around now, anticipating a green flag that may take them right to the end. Led by Kevin LePage, they come out of the corner.
Well, Randy McDonald all the way back in 6th is going to have to really run for the front, but the story right now is Kevin LePage. What a Cinderella story here this afternoon. Should not even have started this race had it not been for the rain. He hasn't got this one yet, though. Right on the back bumper, Russ Erlin and Jean-Paul Cabana.
Earlier, we established whether Russ Erlin should have started this one. That car was extremely beat up. He's pieced it all together now. He has a go at Kevin, but thinks better of it.
Kevin LePage running a very smart line right on the bottom of the racetrack. If Russ Erlin's going to pass him, he's going to have to do it on the outside. LePage and Erlin running 1 and 2. Then right behind Cabana, followed by Bill Zardo, Claude Leclerc, and Randy McDonald. There's the race. The top 6 nose to tail with less than 10 to go.
You know, this one is going to go right down to the last lap one more time. You can almost anticipate that. Kevin LePage, 21 in front. Russ Erlin has another go. Pokes the nose in there. No, look. And Cabana thinks maybe I'll make a move here. No, it's going to be Erlin.
Erlin coming up on the outside as they really begin to swap lanes. LePage down low. Erlin making a run at him on the outside. Russ Erlin in the black car number 8 trying to do it the hard way. Comes up on LePage on the outside of turn number 1. They're nose to nose. LePage gets the draw toward the tri-oval, and back comes Cabana for second.
LePage will not give it away. Erlin comes back one more time. Cabana, not sure which of these two cars he should try to follow through. No, it's Erlin. He makes the move. He's ahead by half a car length.
Russ Erlin trying to do it on the outside. He has done it at the start-finish line. Erlin, with 6 laps remaining, has taken over the lead. LePage back to second. Cabana third. Then Bill Zardo, Claude Leclerc, and Randy McDonald. This crowd is on its feet. Some great racing. Dave Eisen goes around.
You mentioned Dave a moment ago, and here he is now, spinning out of it. You know what that means? Another yellow.
Oh, this is really going to set up a shootout. We have seen some fantastic racing. The crowd just going wild as the laps wind down. And that spin by Dave Eisen in car number 7 brings out the caution flag and sets up a real roll for the chutes.
I can almost feel it out of Erlin's car. He's having a breather. Let's replay here.
Dave Eisen going around, taps the back end of the Steve Monroe machine, spins the car sideways, but keeps it off the wall. Everybody gets by. The caution flag is out. And once they get Eisen back underway, we are going to have a final shootout for the victory.
No debris in the course. Don't see any fluids out there. No major damage in the Eisen car. The rescue vehicle arrives. We should have him out of the way. This should be a brief yellow, Dave.
They'll just push start him to get the motor refired, and there's the man on top, Russ Erlin, who made the pass on Kevin LePage, and you cannot do it any tougher than Russ Erlin does it here. LePage has the line on the inside, running the preferred area of the racetrack, right down on the bottom, but Erlin just flying up on that high groove, overpowers LePage on the front straightaway to take the lead.
Wondering if Russ has a television set in car. He keeps replaying race 1, saying, I can do it again, I can do it again. He may do it.
Well, this Sanair Super Speedway has been very kind to Russ Erlin over the last couple of years, and, well, we've still got a ways to go in this one, but Erlin, once again, is the man on top as they get set for a restart.
On the 94th lap of 100 here at Sanair, this man now leads. Russ Erlin is back in front in number 8. Let's go to Michael with his crew chief.
Oh, how quick they change. Ryan, he's in first place here. We got like 6 laps to go.
Yeah, I was just talking to him on the radio. He said he's going to do it. He feels good. He's going to do it.
You won here the last time because someone ran out of gas. This one, you're really pushing it. He came up from the sticks in the back. Are you going to do it?
Yeah, we are. We feel good. We're going to do it. We need this one.
We need this one, says Ryan.
Well, so does number 21, Kevin LePage, and I'll tell you, he is right on Erlin's tail. We've got a green, Dave.
Lap cars on the inside will put up not much of a fight here. Erlin, LePage, Cabana, Zardo, Leclerc, and Randy McDonald ready to shoot it out for the lead. And right now it's a 2-car break. Erlin for the tri-oval, right behind him, LePage.
You know, the Cabana situation I'm a little concerned about. I don't know about that gamble.
Well, Cabana running the same deck of cards that Randy McDonald ran earlier. He is trying to go the distance, and well, he's starting to make a believer out of some people, even though the numbers don't add up. LePage down on the inside, heading for turn 1, but he didn't have the horsepower to pull it off. Erlin drifting high, LePage back at him in the 21.
Look at this war, and it's a beauty. LePage gains a little bit. No, Erlen sees him there. Bang, he stomps on it a little bit more.
Well, it was all on the line there. They were leaning on each other, rubbing fenders as they headed for the tri-oval. There's Erlen down on the inside. LePage second. Cabana third. Laps winding down, and we've got caution on the Speedway. A hard crash on the back chute out by the tri-oval. The 09 of Robbie Thompson. 53 Dan Beatty. Thompson hit the wall head on and very nearly got out of the ballpark.
Isn't that something? There they are. They still sit. The drivers, by the way, while we see Beatty is moving there. He seems fine. No real movement, though, out of Thompson's car yet.
Robbie Thompson really hit the wall a lick. Dan Beatty climbing out of the automobile. Thompson's front tires very nearly got over the wall, and I don't think Dan Beatty is exactly a Robbie Thompson fan club member right now.
Yeah, that did not appear to be a hug. Here's Randy McDonald. Look at this, coming back in along pit row.
Oh, my goodness. McDonald's team must have shortchanged the refueling. In their efforts to stay on the lead lap, they must have shortchanged it. He's back in for gas, and that's pretty much going to do it for his chances of winning this race.
Ambulance is on the course, so Robbie may have been a little more shaken up than we had thought, Dave.
Well, apparently that's the case, so while they attend to young Robbie Thompson, we'll take this opportunity to check in with our priority courier up close.
Approximately 50 miles east of Montreal, Quebec lies Sanair Super Speedway. This semi-banked tri-oval speed plan has been the location of many a Canadian motorsport history moment.
I started Sanair in 1970. It started as a drag strip. Then the year after, we had a 1/3 mile oval track. And in 1972, the other year after, we had a road race for 2 kilometers or 1 mile and a quarter. Then in 1978, we started building the tri-oval here at Sanair that was completed in 1983 for the first race. The house where I live is kind of different. First of all, it's made same as a silo. It's all made of concrete. It is round and 112 feet high. And one of the two reasons I built it, first of all, is the price. And also having the stairs go up and down every day, it keeps you fit all day. So by the time you go up and down every day, it is a kind of a good exercise.
As motorsports in Canada continues to grow, you can be sure that Jacques Guertin and Sanair Super Speedway will be a major player in motorsport history.
There's the Robbie Thompson car literally up on the truck, and they take it away back to the garage.
Now, there's going to be a lot of work put in before young Robbie Thompson drives that car again. And Mr. Thompson a little bit worse for wear himself, back in the pit area sitting down, but he really got his bell rung.
Oh, look out, we're heading back to a green, and Russ Erlen grabs that on the front straight, and maybe we'll make it to the end this time, but can Russ hang on?
4 laps remaining, and Erlen got a great jump on the start. He led Kevin LePage by 2 car lengths by the time they hit turn number 1. Erlen in the 8, LePage in the 21, then Cabana and Bill Zardo Sr. But so far, the last 5 laps, it's looked like a 2-car shootout with Erlen and LePage.
You know, Erlen could hold on to this one. He bobbled a little bit of a slide there coming into the corner. Kevin catches up by maybe a car length. It's a war.
I don't think Kevin LePage is going to get 2 shots at this. If he can catch Russ Erlen, he's got to throw his best move at him right away. If it doesn't work, that may be all she wrote, because I don't figure Russ Erlen's going to give him another shot. We've got a challenge for 3rd place. Bill Zardo just drives under Cabana, and JP Cabana now is out of gas. It had to happen. Cabana stretched it to 3 laps from the finish, and we've got yellow. There's a caution flag out in turn number 1. Paul Mathers has spun the zero machine.
Oh boy, this time Paul has got some damage in the car. He did this a couple of times earlier, got away safely. This time he did not luck out.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jean-Paul Cabana should pay Paul Mathers whatever it takes to fix that car, because it's going to allow Cabana to get to the pits, fuel up, and come back out on the tail end of the lead lap, so Cabana is still in contention.
Well, here's the other story out of London, Ontario. Paul Mathers looks like he's okay, but stripped to the emotional bone as he walks away at this stage of the event, Dave.
Well, he's had an interesting afternoon, to say the least. Look at this little confrontation here. That's Robbie Crouch's crew having a quick word with Russ Erlen's crew, comparing notes for a long afternoon of racing.
Well, we are back with Jean-Paul Cabana. As you say, couldn't have been timed better for Jean-Paul at this stage, but I don't think he has time.
Well, Cabana's all the way back in 10th. He's going to need a miracle. Green is out, and again, a big break for Russ Erlin. Just 3 laps remaining, and Russ Erlin may have won it right there as he gets out by 5 car lengths over LePage.
That was an unbelievable restart for Russ Erlin. The adrenaline has to be banging in his body. He wants this one, wants to make it 2 at Sanair this year.
Next time around, it'll be 2 laps to go for Russ Erlin, and just a phenomenal restart on the green flag. You can see Erlin cranking away on that wheel as he comes down the front straightaway. 2 laps remaining for Erlin. LePage second, Bill Zardo in third.
It's like Kevin was napping on that restart. He is so far off the pace here. LePage too far back.
Well, Erlin had one big advantage. He had the lapped car inside of them. He managed to get a good jump, get around that lapped car. Kevin LePage could not get around in time and had to race high into turn number 1. That's a big advantage, and it may be the difference this afternoon. As Russ Erlin is on his way, the white flag is out.
Bill Zardo, senior out of Brampton, Ontario. Don't ignore him. He's sitting back in 3rd place. He's made some dramatic moves late in this run as well.
He's about 5 car lengths behind LePage, but right now, there's the man in charge. Russ Erlin in the John Thompson Motorsport Chevrolet Lumina. Doesn't look like a winner, but it is running up front right now. Patched up front end at all. Erlin is 1 turn away from pay dirt.
This Canada Day 100 is about to end.
Russ Erlin down to the finish line. Checkers are out. Erlin wins it. LePage with a strong second. Zardo is third, and there's the big release of emotion down on pit road. Ryan Lee getting the congratulations from the other crews, and Russ Erlin now 2 for 2 on the Sanair Tri-Oval.
Well, even Kevin LePage pulls up beside him to give him that thumbs up.
LePage coming from the back of the pack for second. Bill Zardo, Claude Leclerc, and Roger Leperle, the top 5.
The champion Erlin gets out of the car. Michael's at the presentation area.
Russ Erlin, the 2nd consecutive win here in 1990. Congratulations, Russ. That was a tough one. You and Kevin LePage were really battling it out there.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know where that Ford got all that horsepower from. I couldn't believe when I got by him. He run right up in the back of me, and I wasn't even looking. I think we even touched there once. I'm just really glad that I was able to pull this one off, especially for General Motors and my Chevrolet sponsored Lumina. And I got to thank Ford Motor Company, too, for supplying my hauler for getting here.
I'm telling you, when we talked in the pit area, he was saying to me, no, we're not a contentioner here. So, Russ, it must be a great feeling.
It is a great feeling. You know, I told my good friend and sponsor, John Thompson, I said, John, this is not my day. We're going to have a very unfortunate day because the car wasn't working good. It just seems like maybe it wasn't me that wasn't working good early in the race. And I got onto it later on, and I was having a lot of fun out there.
Russ Erlin will be ecstatic about these standings. 205 points, putting him on top after 3 events in the GM Motorsport National Stock Car Series.
Well, for the 2nd time in as many races, Erlin does not dominate, but he's there when it counts at the drop of the checkered flag.
For Michael Charbon and Dave Moody, our co-host, I'm Jim Paulson saying farewell from Sanair Super Speedway.
The GM Motorsport Hour, brought to you by General Motors of Canada Limited and by Quality GM Parts, Priority Courier, and Sony of Canada.
Join us next week on the GM Motorsport Hour as we return to the Players Limited GM Motorsport Series, a doubleheader from Mont-Tremblant, Le Circuit in Quebec.